What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today, you're joining me in Land O'Lakes, Florida, and we are at the first Tesla Supercharging site in North America that is managed by Tesla and using Tesla hardware, but not owned by Tesla. So as I mentioned, we are in Land O'Lakes, Florida. This is just north of Tampa. And as you can see here, these are Tesla version 4 dispensers, but they don't have Tesla branding anywhere on them. And these are operated by a company called Supercharging. These chargers opened up about 2 weeks ago, and these are open to all EVs, version 4 posts, version 3 cabinets. I'm going to give you guys a full site tour, show you guys how it works for Tesla drivers, and a little bit how it will work for non-Tesla drivers, billing, whether you can use Tesla credits, and all that fun stuff. Let's get into it. So we are in Land O'Lakes, Florida. There's a racetrack gas station right there, and we have kind of a little shopping complex here. Grain and Berry, I think, is like a food store. Egg bread, craft breakfast sandwiches, a Trek bike shop, and a few other things here. So nice little shopping complex. And we have what would normally be a pretty typical 8-stall version 4 post, version 3 Tesla Supercharger site. But the main difference here, as I mentioned, is that this site is not owned by Tesla. This site is operated by this company called Supercharging. They're a new startup down here in Florida. This is their first site that they've opened, and they have more planned. There's some people involved in it that have been pretty involved in the EV industry since the beginning. So I think I have a fairly high level of confidence that this will be successful. You can see here, these are just normal version 4 dispensers. You have the normal CC or NACS handle there. You can press and hold there for 2 seconds, push up and pull out. And then you have the CCS handle there. So that's the Magic Dock installation. And what I have not really seen that often other than at NEVI sites in the US is we have payer payment terminals here. So we're going to try that out. Let's plug in first. So there we go. We're plugged in. Let's hop into the car. I'll show you what this shows up as in the Tesla navigation itself. So we're at 43% state of charge, not the lowest. And here we have it. So this site is 39 cents a kilowatt hour from midnight to 5 a.m. And from 5 a.m. to midnight, it's 45 cents per kilowatt hour. You can see some of the amenities around here. And you can see that this shows up, rather than as a Tesla Supercharger, it shows up as a Supercharging Supercharger. So that's the third party. And then here it also has Suncoast in parentheses, Land O'Lakes, Florida focused loop. Versus, we'll pull up a different Tesla Supercharger here nearby. You can see how it says Tesla Supercharging does not have an operator or anything like that. Also worth noting is that Tesla Superchargers in Florida, they have started using congestion-based pricing. So it varies depending on how busy the site is, whereas this site is just a time of use site. You also have this note, site not owned by Tesla. You can pop that up. This site is owned by a third party and is not eligible for free supercharging. While Tesla services this site, charging prices are set by owners. So if you do have a Tesla with free supercharging, you cannot use that here. So that's interesting as well. It makes sense, but I think will upset some people that do have unlimited free supercharging because they would think that they could use that anywhere, which is not the case as third parties operate charging sites. Here we have session energy cost, all that fun stuff. That is all totally normal stuff. We have the contract certificate, or not certificate, but the public key for the meter. And all that fun stuff for metering information. And let me give you guys a tour of everything that you see at this site. So over here we have 2 of the typical version 3 Tesla Supercharger cabinets, because of course this is an 8-stall site. We have 387 kVA max continuous power, and this is still 500 amp or 500 volt limited, which is typical for the V3 cabinets. I would really like to see version 4 cabinets here. They would only have to have 1 cabinet instead of 2, and I think that would be a lot better experience, especially for non-Tesla 800 volt vehicles or even for Cybertruck. So you have the cabinets here. You have a site controller box here. So this is where they do the load management and all that fun stuff. Over here you have the meter. So that's coming off of the transformer here. We have a, let's see, probably 750 kVA? 1000 kVA transformer. So slightly oversized, but pretty reasonable. And here we have a 1600 amp cabinet. And what's interesting is that this is sized bigger than you'll typically see for two version 3 cabinets. You could actually feed a version 4 cabinet off of this. So maybe that is the plan here, especially how they laid this out. They could maybe rearrange some conduits and then have it do all 8 posts off of one version 4 cabinet, which I think would be pretty cool to see if they did swap that out. Maybe that's part of the plan with Tesla. Interestingly, there's also not a lock on this, so I'm going to let them know so they can get that fixed. Hopefully that's fixed before this video even goes live. And you can see the different animals on all these different posts. So you have a turtle here. I don't really, otter, I guess. Swordfish. You have your accessible stall here with the use last. I think that's like a tiger or a leopard or something. Someone's going to correct me and tell me I'm wrong. And let's go back over here. Over here you have, looks like an alligator, crocodile, owl, I think that's a sea lion, walrus, and a snake. So Tesla does say that you cannot use free supercharging here. However, you can use referral credits, so the dollar-based credits. And let me find a way to show you guys this without showing all my personal information. But here you can see a session I did briefly before I started filming. You can see it was $1.80. And I have free supercharging miles, which you can see there. And it did not use those. So those are what I've been using on other superchargers. But I do have Tesla credits, which are $1 amount, and I was able to use those. So let me pull that up. So here you can see the amount that I was billed was $1.80, and then the price that you're shown is actually tax inclusive, because here you see 7.95% tax, and the total before tax was $1.66, and then they add in tax to make it the actual billed amount. And you can see here that it was paid with Tesla credits of $1.80. And now I want to unplug, and I want to try actually paying with the payment terminal, because we've got a sign here. Oh, also you can see the charging information there. Doesn't show the pricing there though. Because we have a sign here, Suncoast charging, EV charging only. We have NACS, and that looks nothing like NACS. We have CCS shown here, which that kind of sort of looks like CCS2, not at all like CCS1. 325 kilowatt, great. Open 24-hour, great. And then here we have charging information. So plug and charge is for Tesla users and other EV users. So that would include Rivian, Ford, and I believe a few others that have plug and charge on Tesla Superchargers. Tesla app for all EV users, so non-EV users or non-Tesla drivers, I guess. And I guess indirectly you'd use the Tesla app there. On Teslas. Here you have tap to pay, which interestingly shows RFID. To my knowledge, there's no way you can use RFID on Tesla Superchargers in the US. And then here you have accepted payment methods, so Visa, MasterCard. Interestingly, not American Express, so we'll try that. And then we have customer support. I believe that might be the standard Tesla number, because 3752 is Tesla in T9 text. And then here you have a standard pay-per-use EV charging only sign with a QR code with instructions. So let me pull this handle out. How do I get this to continue? There's also like a weird film on these Pater screens. And it's also worth noting is that these labels are really hard to see if you're in a vehicle and you need to activate this with the Tesla app or some sort of other app. So I don't know why that's not working, but I think we'll be able to reach on this one. So let me pull that out. I'm going to use tap to pay here. I'm actually going to try American Express. Okay, it actually won't read it because it's plug in to charge. It won't activate the payment terminal until you plug in. So for a Tesla driver, as is typical with these, and I've spoken about this before, you cannot use tap to pay. That's only for non-Tesla drivers or non-plug-in charge. or I guess you'd have to turn off plug and charge somehow in order to do that. So there we have an overview of this Suncoast Charging Tesla managed third-party owned Tesla Supercharger. Cool to see more charging options. I think the signage needs some improvement. I think the signage is just not fully accurate, especially the images. That's not correct at all. I love to see more charging options regardless, but I would love to see that this be version 4 cabinets, so that way other cars can actually get full power rather than the old version 3 cabinets that, in my opinion, should not still be installed in 2025. They're outdated technology at this point. Bethany, any thoughts on this charging site?
I like their little graphics. They're fun.
Yeah.
I think they have a good ADA stall. I don't really look at the charger itself, but
it's pretty typical Tesla ADA, so it's good.
It had a lot of good space, it seemed like.
Yeah, and it's been a while since I've used version 4 posts in the hot weather. I don't know if they either improve the cables on these or if they're just really flexible because it's pretty hot out. It's like 85 degrees out. But they're super flexible compared to the last time I used version 4 cables. So that's always great.
They also have a good, like a place that people with like dogs and stuff can go, it looks like.
Yeah.
And then multiple different restaurants, along with having like an actual access point for like 24/7 charging, which I think is a better amenity to have both restaurants, but then also have the gas station right there.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of gas station charging, as that is somewhat controversial for some reason, but gas stations are usually 24/7 or very long hours. They have quick snacks and drinks. They usually have decent restrooms, or at least restrooms that exist, which is half the battle. And then you also have the nicer amenities if you want to spend some more time or get some real food. So overall, this is a great site. Really no complaints other than I think it should be 800 volt charging. And I think the signage needs improvement. So hats off to the Suncoast and the Tesla teams. Nicely done. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.